Well, it's time again for Truck Talk. Not to sound like a commercial, but what's in your box? Ready, running guns? Time for blast off. Let's go. Hey guys, Todd here with you. Welcome back to Bassin 101. You know, there's a topic that I think is kind of interesting that somebody had brought up in an email, and we got talking about it. And I was thinking, you know what, that really kind of needs to be talked about a little bit. And basically, it's not how much you cram in your box, but what you put in it. You know, back in the old days, they had these Umcos with like 12 trays, and the possum bellies, and Plano had the what I call the hotels, the 777s, and the 7777, which was the actual classic box. I got both of those. Love those boxes actually, but they had a lot of room for baits. And back in the day, pros pretty much carried everything in the boxes as they went from tournament to tournament. And you got to carry everything that you can think of. Well, are we all tournament fishermen? No. Yeah, this kind of comes down to, I don't know if it qualifies for simplify your fishing or not, but basically, we all suffer from want-to-itis. Want-to-itis. I want to carry this bait. I want to carry this bait. Are you actually going to use it? Sometimes it doesn't hurt to sit down and write a list of, I just wanted to just throw this and throw this and throw this. And some of us are going to end up with big boxes. Some of us are going to end up with small boxes. I know a lot of guys that I've talked to in emails and comments and stuff like that. They actually have a particular box for the different lakes that they fish. And that's not a bad idea. That's definitely organized. Wish I was that organized. I'm not even dropping a bucket being get organized like that. That's my wife. She'll tell you. I hear about it all the time. But be careful what all you throw in the box, because if there's baits you haven't touched in a couple of years, there's no sense in getting rid of them. But why would you carry them? Just because you have a bunch of compartments doesn't mean that you have to cram every single bait in every compartment and you got a compartment that holds one or two baits. You're trying to cram 3 or 4 in that one slot. The only problem is it's like putting a puzzle together. You got to put the parts back in, or you got to put the lures back in there, and you got to do them a certain way or they won't go back in. That doesn't really save you a lot of time on the water. Been there, done that. Just be careful what you put in the box, because why would I carry say 10 different styles of crankbaits in say 3 or 4 different colors when I'm really only throwing about maybe 2 or 3? Those are the ones I have the most confidence in. But I might use these other ones. Well, again, count your losses if that's what happens one day. If you haven't thrown them by now, just put them on the back burner. Maybe a couple of years down the road, you might try them again. Same thing with soft plastics. Just because you have room in the box doesn't necessarily mean you have to put a lure there. You can put a tool there. Say maybe a lighter. You need to melt soft plastics back together to get a couple of more casts out of it. Super glue, a pair of pliers, just sunglasses, something that you would use on a daily basis, especially if you're jumping from boat to boat with friends, or you carry your box back and forth from the boat to the house every time you come back in. You don't have to fill every single slot with a lure. You can put other things in there. Just because you have a big box or even a small box and you pack the lures that you want to use in there, it's like, I still got a couple more slots in here. Okay, so you do. There's no sense in throwing lures in there that you're not going to throw, because then you're lugging around extra weight that you don't need. Maybe get a smaller box. There's times I've actually got a box that was the size I was looking for and just put whatever baits I can get in there, and that's it. I do that a lot of times when I hit the river. There's a lot of stuff you guys don't see on camera, and a lot of it is the boat. Down my console where I got everything sitting at. Sometimes I just take a box. Sometimes it's just a freaking Ziploc bag with a couple of lures in it, and that's it. You don't have to take your whole arsenal with you. One thing that I'm actually thinking about probably doing is having one main box for everything, and then having a smaller box I can keep in the canoe and pack that for the 3 or 4 hours I'm going out, and then put everything back in the big box. That's also an idea that you can utilize. Have a main box, then have a couple of little day boxes. Just don't get lazy and leave the stuff in the day box unless you know you're going to use them the next time you go out, because then baits are going to start scattering, and trust me, you're going to lose where they go. Every time I look for a particular tackle box in my shop and I find it, open it up, it's like, oh, that's where those baits went to. So put the stuff back if you've got a main box. I was so guilty of that. But again, it's not how many things you put in your box or your bag or whatever, it's what you put in it that counts. And that's what matters. I hope I gave you some good tips on that, maybe some things you hadn't thought of. Just thought I would throw that topic out there because not many people are talking about it. None that I know of, actually. So there you go. So until next time, remember, new techniques are trendy, but bass never change. May the Father bless you and keep you in Yeshua's name, and as always, fish on.